Today, I thought it would be a great idea to build my dream college dorm room. Looking back at my first dorm room from last year, I definitely wish it didn't look like a jail cell. It's very intimate. Looking at my Pinterest, I'm noticing a common theme here. They all have like very dark colors, the navy blue sheets. There's no character anywhere. Another thing that's going to be hard to work around is the size of a college dorm room because they're very small. I don't know if you've ever seen or been inside of a college dorm room before, so you really have to work with what you got. I don't know how big to make it though. I'm going to add a bed for reference so that way I know how big to make the room. I can definitely work with this. Let's add a door now. I'm just looking for a tall, plain door. Traditional door. Okay, that's probably fine. The walls, it's very boring. It's just concrete cement blocks. It is the saddest thing you'll probably ever see. I don't know. I could just do concrete. But what's the fun in that, you know? Here we go. This is good. I might just leave it at this, honestly. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. One thing I am grateful for this year is that I actually have carpeting instead of hardwood floors. It looks like an insane asylum. You know what? We'll add some life to it. We'll get there. I'm gonna add a window next. I'm just working on the basic foundation of it so far because it'll help me visualize where I want everything else to be. The dorms at my school, it's a really big window. Like, it's very wide but not very tall. Regardless, you're always gonna have someone looking into your dorm room because people are nosy. I feel like I picked a bad door for this. Let me try another door. You know what would be a good BLOXBURG update? Like a dorm furniture update. Yo, BLOXBURG devs, if you hear me, I want some credit for that update because I think it would be really cool. Moving on. What color would the doors be? I mean, they're wooden doors. They don't believe in aesthetics in college. Regardless, you're always gonna feel like you're living in a dungeon. And you know what? You kind of are. Now let's get all like the basic furniture is. Does BLOXBURG have bunk beds? I don't know if this is like what I want though. Okay, maybe I'm not having a bunk bed. Whatever. That's gonna have to work for me. Where are desks? Table. Guys, once again, I promise I'm good at BLOXBURG. Some dorms have, it's like this exact chair, but it's like a rocking chair, and they're the most uncomfortable things you will ever sit in. Hey, for my incoming first years of college, I highly recommend getting a chair cushion. Actually, I might even switch to this one, just to prove a point. You know what, we're gonna do that. They give you really small wardrobes at my college. This doesn't necessarily have to be an exact replica of the dorm room that I'm going into. What I could do is just like make it more of my own, you know? Just have a little closet space right here, and then I'll be able to move the door. College dorm rooms are never gonna be, you know, functional for the normal human being. Oh shoot, I need lighting. I always forget the lighting, and then it'll be the last second and I walk in to do like, oh, it's tour time, and then it's just completely pitch black. One thing I really like, and I'll insert another picture, is sometimes people will put posters or picture frames, like big picture frames, and then they'll have little light fixtures, and I think that's really cool, so I want to add that. I'll just do 2 because I think that's all that's gonna fit. And it reminded me because I saw the lights for it. Yeah, right here. We'll figure out the decals for that later. For me, it's kind of hard for me to come up with ideas for interiors because I have no clue what I'm doing in that department. This looks like, you know those AI generated videos where it's like the people getting into their bed and the bed's just made of honey, or the bed's made of like snow or grass. Guys, AI is so stupid. Pillows. I do know how to do pillows because I've always found pillows so much fun. So I just realized I left all of the furniture uncolored. Wow, this is just really giving me bad memories. Anyway, we're gonna make these pillows super obnoxious and super fluffy. I think doing pillows in BLOXBURG is probably one of my favorite things. It's just very satisfying to me. We can leave it at that for now. The desk, it's gonna be very simple. If you're trying to go to college without some sort of device, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it. My laptop is space gray MacBook. I love her. I love you. Sorry, I was saying I love you to my... I'm gonna shut up now. On my keys, I have a little shark, Lego shark. I'll insert a picture. Aww. It's very similar to what my keys are. Next, I need a beanbag chair. You don't want to have to sit in your bed when you want to be comfortable. Why is there no adult size beanbag chair? Like, there's only the kids size. Hi guys. So at this point of the build, I started to get a really bad headache because just doing that for so long and also speaking while building at the same time, which is not working out for me. So a mixture of that and trying to find a stupid chair for that corner of the room was really difficult for me. So I added an ottoman right in front of the chair because you have to have a spot to kick back, and just having your feet dangling off the chair onto the floor is just not it. I also thought that now would be a great opportunity to tell the story of my first year of college. So I was living in my dorm last year. I was out with my friends and then I came home. Well, I came back to my dorm at like maybe 3 in the morning. I walked through my hallway and get to my door, and all of a sudden I was like, dang, what's that smell? So I look around, I look at the floor, and some guy threw up all over the floor right in front of my door. We also had communal bathrooms, which if you don't know what those are, it's basically just a room full of stalls. It's like a public restroom for the dorm. Like, not every dorm room has its own bathroom attached to it. So you have to go down the hallway to like your shared bathroom with all the other people on your floor. So you picture the bathroom. As I'm looking down the hall and I see this guy's door, and there's a trail of vomit from his door all the way to the bathroom.
I can't wait to die. Honestly.
And I'm just like, yep, that's really disgusting. Mind you, I was ready for bed. It was like in the middle of the night. I had already been out with my friends. I just wanted to change into my pajamas and go to bed. But no, that opportunity was stripped away from me because I was paranoid. Also, a couple hours later, the janitors came to use the carpet cleaner. He was doing that right outside of my door, so I couldn't sleep. Yeah, it was just not a fun experience. But also, I'm not trying to dissuade you from going to college. I'm just warning you, you will encounter some weird experiences. And you know what? That's just all part of the college experience. It's a great character builder. If you want to go to college, perfect. If you don't want to go to college, you do you, man. As long as you are happy and you can figure out what you want to do with your life, that's all that matters. Okay, back to the build. The overall theme I was going for was obviously green. I liked the idea of adding a ton of plants to the room because I feel like it would just make it feel more like home. In my bedroom, I have vines hanging from the ceiling, and I was like, I'll just add that to this dorm room because that would make me feel more comfortable with myself. But yeah, adding plants was like the main thing I was going for, but I didn't want to go overboard with it because otherwise it would feel like a jungle, and I didn't want it to feel like a jungle. When it came to like actually figuring out what I wanted to put in the little small spaces, I was just kind of just looking through the list and I was like, what could I add to this that would make it feel more like a college dorm room? Oh my god, count how many times I've said college dorm room in this video, I swear to god. But anyway, I added like calendars, sticky notes, laundry detergent, all the basic things you need in your dorm room. That poster above the desk, I'm turning it into a flag eventually. You saw me do the posters above the bed. While building this, I definitely felt a little bit rusty with my building techniques. There were just some points where I didn't know what I was doing, and I said earlier that I wasn't confident with interiors. I'm just not good in that department. For example, I wanted to add this rug on the ground because rugs just add so much to the build, and I didn't know how to use the decal for some reason. So then I was like, oh my god, it's time for a basic shape. I know some of the quote-unquote veteran BLOXBURG players aren't a huge fan of the new transform tool, but honestly, I don't really mind it. I mean, I wasn't really playing BLOXBURG too much during the old transform tool, so the rework really wasn't too big of a change to me. If anything, it makes it more convenient to do everything, and it makes everything look less cluttered and overwhelming, which is perfect for me. It was at this point where I wanted to move towards a more music-centered theme. I had the green theme, but I was like, it's kind of boring to just have greenery and plants everywhere, so I decided to add some records to the walls. Also, I've gotten a couple comments on my TikTok, which by the way, go follow, it's in my description, or just search Jaccident on TikTok. People were telling me that I should do ASMR content, so maybe I should do a little preview of what that would sound like. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let me know if you hated that. And although I'm going to college in a couple of weeks, I still want to try to upload as much as possible. I was shooting for like every week or every other week, but we'll see about that, honestly. I'm not going to be home that often. I go to college like a couple hours away, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to upload consistently, but I'll try my best. But anyway, the time lapse is almost over because I'm almost done with the build, but I just wanted to say thank you for sticking around this long if you made it this far. I really do appreciate it. And now let's get into the tour. Alright, we're done with the dorm room. Don't mind the outside at all. I've done all the decals. I've done all of the little nitty-gritty things. So here's the dorm. Here's the door. I went for the whole greenery theme. This is my dream dorm. Here we go. We got the closet, laundry basket, some weights on the ground, the storage up there, laundry detergent, some bowls. You never know when you're gonna want to use a bowl. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a closet. We got my dresser, which has my keys on it, my sunglasses, and family photo. Fun fact, that's actually me as a baby, and those are my two parents. We have a candle. Actually, now that I think about it, you're not allowed to have candles in dorm rooms. We have this 8-ball rug. And before you say anything, yes, I know it's a very cliche thing to add to your room, but it's honestly really cool. And adding any sort of rug is perfect. And it just adds so much to the room. It makes it feel like cozy and all comfy in your room. Now, this is the chair that gave me a headache. At first, I really didn't like it, but then it kind of grew on me. And then I was like, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Here's me in the chair. Here's my desk. Then we got a flag. I don't actually go to UCLA. However, I have seen UCLA and I love the campus. Here's the bed. I am a huge fan of the posters I did here. We got Brent Faiyaz. Then we got obviously Tyler, the creator. We got a couple records. I got my cat on the bed because I miss my cats when I'm at college. I do have cat withdrawals and that's not crazy. Moving on. So let me know, would you live in this dorm room? Would you change anything? When I move back into my dorm, I hope it looks like this. Hopefully. Living in a comfortable space, especially while you're pursuing your studies, is super important. Trust me, you'll get better grades because of it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.